Folks, welcome to the second episode of the 5 Minute Roadie, brought to you by the 40-Hour Principal Project. On my left I've got Steve Zonneville sitting there ready to have a wee chat to us, and of course I'm Dave Armstrong. Now Steve, you use a phrase frequently when we're talking to groups that can be a little bit controversial at times. In fact, I'd go as far as to say that it has offended some people.
True.
The phrase is, be slacker better.
Yeah.
And
Well, let's maybe talk about the offence part to start with.
Alright.
Right, well, I'm talking about be slacker better, but people here be a better slacker.
Alright.
Okay, and there's two quite different things that we're talking about. Being a better slacker is sitting on the couch, having a beer or a coffee, just watching Netflix and doing nothing, okay? It's sort of, it's got an element of laziness. But being slacker better is it's more of a mental thing, because I think as principals we just have this idea in our head that we have to be everything to everybody all the time, and we need to give ourselves a little bit of slack there. And there's two elements to it, and that one of it's a mental game where we're fighting our own selves and thinking we've got to do this, we've got to do that, we've got to do the other thing. But we're also fighting a perception from our communities, whether they're in the school or just out of the school, about what they think we should be doing as a principal.
Can you, so just to be clear, when you're talking firstly the word slacker, could you just define that a wee bit? Because that seems to be the sticking point for many people. It's that word slacker, it sits awkwardly with them.
Yeah, it does, and it should do. I mean, it's actually a notoriously good word to use, because it's making us really think about what we're doing. Being slacker, it's just giving yourself a little bit more time, a little bit more slack in the rope, to actually get the work done and to be efficient, and to actually consider about your own well-being.
Okay.
I mean, we've got to stop letting people guilt us out of our own boundaries, basically, and we've got to prioritise our own safety and our own well-being, especially if other people aren't. So we've got to actually look at, how can we actually think about being slightly slack in the way that we see the job. It's not the way other people see the job, but it's just looking at how we do the job and thinking, okay, I need to look at the pace of my job. I need to look at the times when I don't need to be as busy as straight after a board meeting or whatever like that. I'm not going to be as busy as what I was straight before a board meeting.
Yep.
So in the past I might think, because I'm going home a little bit early, that I'm being slack. Who cares?
Right.
You're actually going to be looking after yourself. So it's really important, and it sort of comes down to your thoughts as well, about how you perceive things. And really your thoughts are your rehearsals for your own actions. I heard that somewhere. That sounds really good, doesn't it?
Sounds really wise.
Your thoughts are rehearsals for your own actions. And we worry so much about things, and apparently like 85% of the things that we worry about never ever happen. So we have these thoughts about how we should be perceived and how we should do things.
Right.
And 85% of the time they don't actually mean anything anyway. So we actually have got quite a lot of license to actually be a little bit slacker in what we do.
Okay, I understand that. I think when you use the analogy like a piece of rope can be slack.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me, because it's away from that other word that offends people, which is lazy.
Yeah.
Because it gets confused in there sometimes, doesn't it?
Yep.
So what would you
We're
suggest?
not saying be lazy better.
No, you're not saying be lazy at all.
No.
What would you suggest then? Because the second half of the phrase is better.
Yep.
Could you give us some examples of what better might look like for somebody doing our job?
Well, for a start, I think that we sort of always hope for the better. We've got this word hope in our mind, and that we always hope that everything's going to sort itself out a little bit, and that in a sense the cavalry's going to come and save us, I guess.
Right.
I'm saying instead of actually hoping for the better, we actually just need to be better. And there's a whole lot of different ways about doing that, but the first thing is getting over this mental block in our head about what we think we should be doing and what we can actually do and what we need to do and what we want to do.
Okay.
There's a whole lot of stuff there, but it's going to be an individual thing, but it can simply be going home early.
Right.
And giving yourself not worrying about the naysayers, just actually just getting up and going, I've done my work today, I've been really efficient, I'm just going to go home and I need a bit of me time. And not feeling bad about that.
So you're almost talking about a recovery type thing. It's a sustainability argument, isn't it, when you put it like that?
Totally a sustainability argument. And if this is we're going to be doing this for a long time, then we need to have those times where we actually recover, which means we need to sort of throw away our old thinking, which would, in the old days, we'd think that's being slack. But we actually need to give ourselves some slack, some extra rope to work this through.
Okay, well that makes a lot of sense, thanks Steve. Is there anything else, is there anything critical you want to make a point about that? Because otherwise we're up against our self-imposed time block.
Yeah, we are.
And we're nearly round the block. Is there anything else you want to finish off there? Is there something that we've tried?
It's a huge thing to think about, but it's really up to the individual. The cavalry's not going to come and save you. Don't hope about things, just be better, and be slacker better. Simple as that, really.
All right, thanks very much, Steve. That's awesome. There's some ideas to unpack a little bit.
You can just drop me off here, Dave.
I can drop you. I would just pull over here and drop you off.
We're just out in the.
Where are we?
Back blocks of South Canterbury somewhere.
Are we still in South Canterbury?
Yeah. Can you drop me here?
I'm going to drop you right on the corner.
Dave, stop!
I'm going to drive your car home, and that little bit of exercise you get will be stunning.
Awesome.
Catch you later.
Hey, thanks very much, mate.